In a world where part of the scene is still in shadow, kingdom citizens are holding lanterns or torches, bringing light to the dark places. This image shows their role as carriers of the kingdom's truth, extending hope, grace, and salvation to those who have not yet encountered it. Living as kingdom citizens' main points. Living by kingdom principles. Love, forgiveness, humility, service reflects the heart of what it means to live under God's rule, guided by the values that define his kingdom. In Matthew 5 verses 14 to 16, Jesus tells his followers, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." This passage beautifully illustrates how living by kingdom principles shines God's light into the world, drawing others to him. When we live by love, we reflect the unconditional love that God has shown us. Jesus taught that love for others, even for our enemies, is a defining mark of the kingdom. Matthew 5 verse 44. This kind of love shines brightly in a world often filled with selfishness and division, showing others a different way of living that comes from God. Forgiveness is another core principle of the kingdom. As Jesus forgives us, we are called to forgive others. Matthew 6 verse 14. In a world where grudges and bitterness can easily take root, forgiveness sets us apart as lights that break the cycle of revenge and resentment, leading to reconciliation and peace. Humility, a cornerstone of kingdom living, involves putting others before ourselves, just as Jesus humbled himself in service to others. Philippians 2 verses 3 to 8. Humility shines brightly in a world that often glorifies pride and self-promotion, pointing to the selfless nature of God's kingdom. Service is another key principle, where we follow Jesus' example of serving others rather than seeking to be served. Matthew 20 verse 28. Acts of service, especially to those in need, are ways our light shines in practical ways, making God's love visible to the world. When we serve others with a genuine heart, it brings glory to God and reflects his care and compassion. By living according to these kingdom principles, love, forgiveness, humility, and service, we are living as lights in the world. As Jesus said in Matthew 5 verse 16, "Our good deeds are not for our own recognition, but for God's glory." As people witness how we live differently, they are drawn to the God we serve, and his kingdom expands as hearts are turned toward him. Aligning daily life with God's values, even in challenging circumstances, speaks to the commitment of putting God's principles first in every aspect of our lives, no matter the situation. In Matthew 6 verse 33, Jesus instructs his followers, "Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." This verse emphasizes the priority of living in alignment with God's values and trusting that he will take care of our needs, even when life is difficult. To seek first his kingdom means that our primary focus should always be on living according to God's ways, allowing his rule to guide our actions, thoughts, and decisions. God's values, love, justice, humility, and integrity become our compass. This is not always easy, especially in times of hardship, uncertainty, or temptation. However, Jesus reassures us that when we prioritize God's kingdom, he will take care of the rest, our material needs, concerns, and challenges. In challenging circumstances, aligning our lives with God's values might mean making choices that go against worldly wisdom or personal convenience. It could mean showing love and forgiveness when we feel hurt, being generous when we face scarcity, or standing for truth and justice when it's unpopular or even risky. Yet, Jesus reminds us that when we put God's kingdom first, he is faithful to provide for us, spiritually and practically. This alignment requires trust that God's ways are higher and better than our own, and that he sees and knows our needs. By seeking his righteousness, we commit to living rightly before him, not just outwardly but in our hearts. Even when it's challenging to stay faithful, Jesus' promise encourages us to remain steadfast, knowing that God's provision is secure when we align ourselves with his will. In essence, this passage calls us to make God's kingdom the foundation of our lives. Whether facing uncertainty, hardship, or success, our focus should remain on living out God's values. As we do this, we become part of his kingdom work here on earth, confident that he will provide for us in every circumstance.